Hello, good evening. My name is Morganon. I bid you all welcome back to Risen. Now, because of my amazing streak of 3 consecutive episodes... Oh god. Beg pardon. Because of my amazing streak of 3 consecutive episodes in 2025, I decided... I took a couple weeks off, more or less, just to deal with some other projects. But we're back with this. I want to keep a reasonable pace with this series. So our task today is mostly going to be getting our staff training done. Now, I don't know exactly when at what point this episode is going to end. I just know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to get through the whole monastery in an hour-long episode, so wherever that happens to end up is where we will stop. But first thing we must do is get our staff from Carlson the Smith
someone
here.
Who needs the protection of a good weapon.
What sort of weapons do you have?
Injure things, kill things, cause damage to things, that sort of weapon. But nothing's free. But I'll trade if you can't pay with gold.
I need a staff.
I'll check me stock. Got this. Oak. Good, strong wood. Knock someone's teeth through the back of the skull. It'll serve as well as a blade. Well, most blades, if you train with it, and you don't go hitting the wrong people.
What's a smith doing with wooden staffs?
Not much call for anything else. Shame, really, because blades are my speciality. I remember every sword I've ever touched. Doesn't matter if I forged it, repaired it, or just sharpened it. I ain't like that Oscar down at the Don's camp, messing around with jewellery. Good solid blade, that's what you need.
It's kind of funny that he says that, because he will teach you jewelry making as part of smithing. The two, I think, are just kinda... Hang on, is that right? I always forget. But yeah, jewelry making and smithing are the same skill in this game. So if he teaches you smithing, he will teach you jewelry making. And he has a goldsmithy station right there.
Can you teach me how to be a smith?
Long as you don't steal my customers. Go on then. Pin your ears back and listen up.
What can you teach me?
Inexplicably, he can teach you opening locks. Don't know why. But other than that, he can also teach smithing, which I don't think we'll indulge with on this character. We will explore it probably on the Don's character, because I think that one will have more learning points to spare. Teddy, chill out. Sorry, I have a cat next to me, and he seems a little wobbly. What was I saying? Yeah. Smithing, honestly, in the end, isn't worth a whole lot, but we'll take a look at that someday. Honestly, stuff like that I should probably be looking at early on, but well, I didn't really plan for it. Because people are going to want to know exactly what you can do with this. Suffice to say, your options for smithing weapons are pretty limited. But there are some unique weapons you can make later on, and I will discuss those when we find one.
Can you get me any blanks for smithing?
Do you see any round here? There's simply no demand for blades here in the monastery. I could make some, but you'd have to bring me some ore.
I've got some iron ore for you.
What do you need?
How much iron ore do I need for a blank?
Depends on what you want to make. For a good one-handed sword, you'll need 8 lumps of iron ore. For a bastard sword, you'll need 10 lumps of iron ore, and 12 for a two-handed sword.
That's exactly as much as the smith in town said he needed, so that's just standard fare, I guess.
Do you recognize this knife?
Let me see it. Ugh! It's got blood on it! Why are you showing me that?
Just take a quick look.
Yes, I've sharpened that blade. Certainly didn't have blood on it then. It's one of Harlock's kitchen knives.
Are you sure?
Course I'm sure.
So, we have our first lead here. The murder weapon belonged to the cook here, apparently.
Have you got any decent weapons?
How about I take one of my weapons and beat you around the head with it? Then you can see how decent they are.
Easy, Tiger.
Heh. It's amazing what you can get away with when you target a man's pride. Now, When it comes to the staff, once you get the staff, you're able to continue with the training. You don't actually need to use it. And to be honest, I don't think it's really worth using. I will, just for demonstration's sake, use it in the next section. But you can go through the whole training and everything just using a sword and shield. And given the added protection and slightly improved blocking radius that the shield provides, you're probably better off with it. But we'll roll with this.
I've got a staff.
So you have. But do you know what to do with it?
You hit things?
Simple answer. Difficult skill. Done right, this can turn a human body into an unrecognizable skin sack of broken bones. To start, you need to learn some moves from a few of our fighters. Tucker, William, and Cato. When they're satisfied with your progress, come back and see me. And I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
Got it, Arik.
Master Arik. I will have respect, understand?
You shan't.
Can you run that by me again?
I'm a patient man. I've had to be. But there is a limit to it. And you are in danger of running up against it.
I think that's clear enough, Master.
There. That's enough.
Are you still looking to test me?
Yes. I've just thought of a good test for you. I think I should try you with another kind of stick first. Find yourself a broom and sweep out my chambers.
So, only by really testing his patience do you get this additional quest, which is obviously a very silly nonsense one. And I think kind of referencing a similar quest in Gothic 2. I don't know why... Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. So, I don't know why it says sweep 10 piles of dust from Master Arik's chambers. That's not actually what you need to do. You have to sweep 10 piles of dust from all the novice chambers. And obviously you get a little bit of extra XP for getting this quest, but it is tedious and annoying. And we gotta find a broom somewhere. And I'm not gonna pay for one. I've completely forgotten where you can even get one. Oh, here we go. In the bathhouse.
What are you doing here?
Sweeping. So this is as silly and annoying as it sounds. If you have a broom in your inventory, you just click on the dirts. And I'll see you when we're finished. There we have it. The chambers have been swept. If only we could just throw all the dust in this man's face.
Your chambers are clean.
Good. Now maybe you're ready for a stick that doesn't have bristles on the end of it. If you're not, go see Harlock. I'm sure he needs somebody to peel potatoes for him.
I'm ready to train.
Then get gone and train.
I don't actually know if you need to do that once he gives you that quest, but... well, we done it.
I don't think we've met. My name's William. Are you a volunteer?
Yes, I am.
Then we're fighting for the same cause.
I take it you volunteered.
Yes. There's something here worth fighting for. My parents had a farm on the island until those temples burst out of the ground. Now they have nothing. If it hadn't been for the warriors here, my parents would have lost their lives to those creatures. Instead, they're in Harbour Town. I swore to do anything I could against those creatures.
Your mother, Tilda, has been asking for you.
My mother? I hope she's all right.
Yes, she's in Harbour Town.
Good. That's where she should be. Thanks for letting me know.
You're supposed to train me.
You'll do well here if you're stout-hearted. You can get strength training with Tucker, and I'll show you how to fight with a staff. I'm no master, but I know enough to give a good grounding in the basics. When Tucker's satisfied that you're strong enough, come to me to learn about technique. And then you have to face Cato. Watch out for Cato. He's the biggest arsehole around.
Cato's the best fighter.
That's Master Arik. Cato's more of an ass. Don't let him muck you around.
So he will teach you technique, but says we have to talk to Tucker for strength training. And we have to basically satisfy Tucker's impression of us before William, and then in turn Babyface Kato here.
Well, if it isn't Babyface. Come to play with the adults, have you? I warn you, our grown-up games get rough.
I'm here because Master Arik sent me to train with you.
Did he?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Go and see Tucker and William. You can't beat them. No point trying me. Go on. Go and train with them.
Too risky.
Damn. I don't know why we have to beat these guys in order to satisfy their training, because ostensibly they're supposed to be more trained than us. Ergo, we should not be able to beat them in a reasonable encounter. But this is how it is, I guess. It is a video game.
Look, another recruit, right? Me too. Tucker, recruit of the Inquisition. What a joke. The same people who chained me up now expect me to fight for them?
You don't think we should fight?
Against who? For what? If they're pulling us in for service, then the shit has really hit the fan.
It's not like we've been given a choice.
No. All we can do is prepare ourselves. 1 hour of training could mean the difference between life and death.
I love the way he says the shit has hit the fan, because that's an idiom that does not make sense in this setting. Obviously, visually that's meant to invoke an image of a turd hitting a, normal electric fan and splattering all over the place, but in this setting, it just makes me picture a single turd getting slapped by, like, a paper fan or something, which is a lot less messy than I think the idiom is meant to suggest.
We're supposed to train.
Life of glamour, this, isn't it? Right, this is what they taught me. To be good with a staff, you have to work on strength and technique. Build up your arms. Whenever you hit, you want to hit it hard. And once you've trained, we'll practice fighting. See if either of us are any good.
So they keep suggesting that we need to actually train before the combat test, but that's never the case. And this being my mage playthrough, where I want to max out magic as soon as possible, I'm basically not going to put any points into it.
How can I improve my fighting technique?
I'm no expert. For me, muscles count the most.
There has to be more to it than strength.
Like they've trained a recruit up in much else. I'll show you what I know, though. And you can ask William. He's picked up more than I have.
Are there rules in the arena?
Pretty basic ones. The fight starts when we get in there. The fight lasts until someone's on the ground. You don't attack anyone on the ground. And it finishes when someone leaves.
I could do with some fight practice.
Yeah, I could do with some. And if you lose, we can fight again. We're all on the same side. Better we all are, better for all of us.
So basically he's saying, even if you lose, you can reattempt the fight as many times as you want, which is pretty conventional. The annoying thing is they will take your gold every time they knock you down, so bear that in mind. Definitely keep a save before you enter the arena, rather than, relying on the infinite retries. Also, look who's here.
I hope you rot like the rest of those fanatics.
Man says he's gonna go to the monastery like you tell him to, and he does just that. Quite the honorable fellow.
And fight me!
Okay, so the one advantage of staves that you can give them is that they are longer. But, given the way we try and approach combat in this game, that's not actually that much of a help. And personally, I find that the hitboxes are much stranger, and I can't seem to land a single hit on this guy with my usual technique. So I find that extremely annoying. I don't feel like their hitbox is as wide as it should be for such a long weapon. It actually seems quite narrow. This guy's way more dodgy than they usually are. In other words, I think I'm switching back to the sword after this. This is just to show it off. He is a very noisy fella. You bitch. I feel like the initial swing is slower than it is for one-handed swords. That's part of the reason why he's able to dodge before I can land a hit most of the time. He also just keeps, like, sprinting around me. He's making the strafe technique a lot less effective.
Do your best.
Holy shit. Alright, this is too annoying.
Yes. Yes.
He was not dodging this readily when I did this practice off screen. Now, you can use potions in the middle of combat. It's easier when they're on your quick bar, but as you can see, you can move around freely with the inventory open, so that's not that big a deal. You obviously have to deal with the animation, but that doesn't slow you down at all.
Good work. Impressive.
Owie. Got the bitch. Now, funny thing about this. Although Scordo will be a witness if he's watching the fight, you can just kill the guys after the arena fight and nobody says anything about it. There's one exception, but we'll get to that.
That was good. You're looking good. I've taught you what I know. You should fight William. He'll teach you more about technique.
I am amused that he's supposed to be the stronger, whereas William is the more techniqued. But it just seems to be a pretty linear scale, where they each get more hit points and more damage than the previous one as you go. Well, let's rest up before we deal with William.
I've worked on my strength. I think it's time for us to train.
Well, you look like you've been doing your strength training with Tucker. So yes, I'm ready.
So, we fight.
That's the next step.
Let's roll. So yeah, long story short, I don't really suggest staves for any reason. If I remember correctly, you get one
Time to end it!
rank of the skill where your combo attacks get a little bit faster. But until that point, they're so incredibly slow compared to swords that it's just not worth it. Now, there's another technique that kind of worked out while I was doing this off-screen this week. Which is, if you just keep, like, trying to hug their shoulder more than anything. And after they swing, you can usually just land one hit. After you block it. Kind of tight window for it. And it really only works if you're right up in their face. But for some reason, they just don't seem to get their block up.
Good fight.
Thanks for the lesson. I will learn from this and train more.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need to learn how to train against weapons other than sticks, because that's not what most of what you're fighting will be using. Alright, so we got through that one unscratched.
I finished training with Tucker and William.
And it's time for a lesson from me, babyface. Let's see if you have the makings of a warrior. Let's fight.
Oh, you were supposed to be fighting in the arena, you dick. I would say Kato really has much more hit points than William does. Okay, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He just seems to be stupid. know what the hell's wrong with them. I think they... For some reason, the geometry here is confusing him. He's just not attacking. Alright, there you go. Got him. And I have your stick. I don't know why nobody's, like, voices are working all of a sudden.
You're better than I thought you'd be. Next time we fight, we'll be in the arena. Then it'll be different.
So that's the stupid thing about Kato. For some reason he fights you here, but doesn't count it until you're in the arena, so you have to fight him a second time.
I'm ready to face you in the arena.
Then stop talking and start walking.
Will you fight me in the arena or not?
Looks like it, doesn't it?
I don't know why we have to keep egging him on just to get him there. But here we go. Now, the funny thing about the arena version of this fight is, as long as you take his weapon, he ends up with a shitty stick. But he does get set back to full health. So you don't get that much of an easier time with it. But certainly not much harder. Or any harder. The only thing is you don't get experience for knocking him down the second time, because you only get that once per NPC, but you do get it for completing the quest.
Looks like your training's working.
Looks like it. So have I passed?
You've learned a few things.
Is there anyone else for me to face? Or is this over?
You're a combat-happy bastard, aren't you? Go and see Eric. He'll sort you out.
I'm a bastard.
What? You want me to kiss you and tell you you're a good fighter? You're a bastard.
Oh, it takes one to know one, don't it?
Beating Kato is a big thing. You have come on a long way. I'm glad you did it. He needed taking down a peg.
He's not the friendliest man I've met.
Carefully
We're
doesn't
talking
wear a
about him
grudge.
right in front
Think
of
he's
him.
the sort?
Kato's the sort who always wants revenge, but he won't tangle with you again. He'll leave that to someone stronger. Arik is my bet.
What will Master Arik do?
The easiest thing would be not to allow you to complete your basic training. But Kato is Arik's friend, so he might even challenge you himself.
In which case, I'll have to beat him.
Arik's not an easy target. He's affable enough on the face of it, but he's able to take care of himself.
Well, we will put that to the test. Now, speaking of, even though William says Eric won't pass us, if he holds a grudge against us, by defeating Kato, we've already passed. We can actually tell Palace that we're done.
I've advanced my training.
Good. Training is vital. I have here a list. This list names all those who has permission to leave the monastery recently.
That will be a great help.
Good. Then continue your investigation.
So as far as that's concerned, we're done with training, but Eric does have more for us. Now, this list tells us who can currently leave. Got Carlson the Smith, Tucker Recruit, Harlock Recruit Cook, Enzo Novice, Ash Novice, Casper Novice, Taylor Novice. Those are all names we need to have a word with. Now we can start with Carlson again, even though we already approached him about the knife.
Did you know Hemlar?
Course, this is a small place. Not knowing someone is damn difficult.
Did you have much to do with him?
No, he just got his staff and
what?
well, now and again he sold people some brugelweed. Everyone knew what he did. It was the monastery's worst kept secret.
Well, that doesn't tell us anything new. Now, be warned when it comes to Eric. This is by far the hardest fight we have had to do so far.
What did you do to Kato?
Fought him. You said to train.
I said to train. I've never seen him look so battered. But a few victories against a few trainees won't make you a proper fighter.
No?
No. The time has come for you to face me. If you feel like getting some more training, now would be the time. Unless you want to make it easy for me to pull your liver through your nostrils.
I'm ready. Are you?
Let's hope your fighting is as confident as your tongue.
Now, it's especially funny if you do murder the novices after fighting them, because he will have that same line about Kato, even if Kato's dead. So the game just did not account for you killing these guys whatsoever. It will account for you killing Eric, though, in a way that you may find suspicious.
What have you done?
Done.
Arik is dead. You should be executed for this, but there are those who have argued you should be given another chance, that you should continue your tests. You will, of course, be punished. I'm taking you off your case. You will no longer concern yourself with the murder of Hemlar.
Who were you trying to punish? Me? Or the other people here?
Learn to keep your rage and your weapons in check.
But we will discuss that when the time properly comes. So, you're going to want to save before this, because you will be attempting this many, many times, especially if you're playing on hard. Eric is a right bastard. Takes a lot of damage, and he deals a lot of damage. He can pretty reliably two-hit you at this point, assuming you're as leveled as I am. He can be a real slippery piece of shit, as much as any other NPC, but obviously makes it much harder, considering his extra hit points means there's a lot more opportunities to make mistakes and fuck it up. And that is complete bullshit there. You may notice what he did. He did the overhead swing that comes on the third hit of the combo.
Good work.
But did it without any of the preceding attacks. He's not the only NPC that can do that. There are actually some enemies that we fight pretty consistently later in the game who seem to do that quite a bit. But that attack, being the strongest hit in the combo, is pretty reliably going to one-shot you in this fight if you let it hit you.
Strike!
I don't know how he can do that, because it is impossible for the player to ever perform that attack without doing the full combo. So I don't know why NPCs are randomly able to do it.
Yes!
I think one technique you can do... I guess not. I thought maybe if you attacked where he blocked it, you might stop him from backing up, which is the hardest thing to manage when trying to use the strafe dodge technique. This is one of those games where I really do wish there was a separate dodge button from the jump button, because that is the biggest thing that gets me screwed in these fights, especially the longer ones, is the game not detecting a strafe because I did the input too quickly. And therefore, he just jumps in place instead of dodging. The biggest problem with him is the best attack to strafe is definitely the left to right lateral swing, because you'll notice it's just ever so slightly slower than any of his other attacks. And that's just an animation thing. It's obviously true of any NPC and the player character if you do those attacks.
Impressive.
I am shocked I did that without getting hit. When I did a practice of this a couple days ago when preparing for the episode, I got knocked down by this guy like 5 or 6 times.
Does that make me the master now?
Ha! Keep that up for 5 or 6 more years, and then, maybe. You did well. You're a natural with a staff.
Yes, one-handed,
as far as I'm concerned, you're ready
bladed
for whatever
staff.
this place tries to throw at you. Go and see Vitus, and good luck to you.
Okay, so I do think we need to defeat Eric to complete Vitus's quest. But not to get the list from Palace. So, that's done. We are the Combat King.
My basic training is complete.
A warrior's training is never complete. Do not forget that. However, you have shown discipline. It's now time to take your training further. Vince will allow you into the upper parts of the monastery. Go now, and continue your training.
Now you notice his voice said Vince, but his subtitle said Ethan. And Ethan is the name of the guard who stopped you from going to the upper quarter over here. That is one of many examples where, for some reason, the names of characters got changed for no apparent reason. You'll see it if you're ever trying to do, like, console commands to spawn or warp to a specific NPC. A great number of them do not have the same name in the files as they do in-game. I don't know why so many of them were changed. I can't remember if it's changed from the English from the German version, or if the German versions were also changed at one point.
Halt. Stranger.
I've finished my training. I have permission.
Then you can enter the upper area of the monastery.
Now, whoever this voice actor is has the weirdest inflections. Like, it almost seems like he has no idea what his tone is supposed to be or how somebody speaks English. It's really strange, but for Ethan in particular, that came off as incredibly stilted. So, we can get into the upper quarter, but Vitus has a different test for us. Needs novices to seek trust and wisdom in combat. This always confused me, and honestly, off-screen this week, I think is where I finally figured out what the deal with this quest is. Trust, comma, and wisdom in combat is how you're really meant to interpret this. These are two different things he's telling you to find. Because trust comes from a really random character in this monastery. And is basically its own objective for the sake of the quest. But to find wisdom in combat, it's a bit of a rabbit hole, and it starts with this feller.
Stop there, brother.
Are you on guard duty?
You can't enter the cemetery. Please go back to your training.
Why can't I enter the cemetery?
This is where artifacts from the temples are being stored. The Inquisitor doesn't want them touched. Besides, some of them are dangerous.
Dangerous? In what way?
The artifacts are from the temple ruins. Who knows what ancient magic they contain? For your own safety, you should leave now.
Let me through.
No, absolutely not.
And there's no way I can persuade you?
No, absolutely not. Well, unless you've spoken to Harlock.
I haven't yet.
I've been out here all day with no food. You get me some of his stew, I might turn a blind eye to you walking in there.
You must have to keep your concentration as a guard.
That's for sure. People will try and pull all sorts of funny business if you don't keep an eye open. It's tough, but you won't find me letting my guard down.
Hours of boredom, all to be ready for that one moment of excitement, eh?
Indeed. His eyes are ever open. Nothing escapes his notice. So, Harlock, you've been referred to you a few times.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm new. I'm in the Order like you.
Just met you, and you're my friend, eh? You're new. You get stew. Those are the orders. Here's the stew.
Well, that's quite a simple equation there.
Do you recognize this blade?
Never seen it before in my life.
Take a closer look at it.
It's not mine. I've never seen it. Now sod off.
Carlson knows this knife.
So why are you telling me?
He knows it's one of yours.
Then why did you need to ask me?
Your knife is the weapon which killed Hemlar, which makes you a suspect.
Maybe someone stole it from me. Yeah. Maybe someone framed me. Did you think of that? Smart ass.
How about instead of maybes, you actually, make a defense for yourself, sir?
Hey, found any gold? I lost some around here.
Ha! Do you really think that'd still be here? Have you got any idea of the sort of people who pass by here?
Yep. Looks like it's gone for good.
Oh, I seem to have found it in your pocket, sir. Ho ho. Well, he gave us our stew, but I guess we can, surrender our portion to Yoki here.
Stop there, brother.
I've got some...
Ah, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Ah, shit.
Is there anything else we can trade?
I wanted that stew. That stew is one of the few little pleasures in this place. Sorry, but if anything happened in there, I'd be cleaning out the cesspits for a month. Why should I risk that if I don't get anything?
You needn't worry. I'll be fine in there.
It's not you I'm worried about, it's the artifacts.
Is there anything I can give you to get into the cemetery?
I'll think about it. Unless you think of something first. Something that would be worth my risk. Hey!
Alright, well, I screwed that up. I wasn't aware of the alternatives. But I guess there are alternatives to giving him the stew. I will have to look into what those are and put them in a nice little caption here for you.
Here. Some stew for a hungry guard.
This is cold.
Do you want it or not?
I want it. Alright, you can have a look in there. Just don't tell anyone or get noticed. And stay away from the crypt, and for the sake of the flame, don't touch anything.
I assure you I won't. I don't know why you think I want to be in here if I wasn't planning on nicking something, but we've already been seen by this recruit, which is hilarious. I don't know if he gets mad at you for touching this, but we'll find out. Nope. I assure you I'm touching nothing, and nobody is seeing me. Chicken. Now, there is one secret in here, but it's going to be important later, so I'm going to save it for then.
A grave. Rest in peace.
Indeed. For now, we're going to focus on what is down below.
Another grave. We all go back to the earth.
Very poignant. So, we found a stone tablet here. This is much like the stone tablets in Gothic 3, in that it teaches you the basic magic stat.
There's something here about magic.
And it gets disposed of. Apparently it just crumbles to dust after we've read it.
In the old days, Berengar, a mage, taught the art of combat, the art of fighting with the staff. He once said to his student, "I can show you the path, but you must walk it yourself."
That is not very much wisdom there, is it? And we loot the dusty old bones down below. Here, there's a key with the letters BER just made out. And that key does not need to go far. Berengar's chest. So the funny thing is that this is the solution to Vitus's quest. Which means, in order to complete it, we have to go where the mages don't allow us to go. A wise fighter will choose a staff as a weapon, a wise fighter will learn the magic of crystals, a wise fighter will opt for using both magic and a staff. This is not very scholarly, is it? It's just pretty basic. But what it's telling you is there are three sort of types of magic that we will have access to as both a fighter and a mage. But we're not going to be able to really explore that anytime soon. Leave no bone unturned. And we get back out of here.
I have found wisdom in combat. You could have told me it was a book.
Only a child expects the world to contain straight answers. Even life itself is a riddle. You may keep the book. Read it, if you've not already done so. When you're finished, give it to someone else who'll read it. Your test has been successfully completed.
Tell me about the other masters.
You have already encountered Master Pallas. He received you at the gate. You will find the other masters in the upper part of the monastery. Illumar can teach you how to write scrolls. Cyrus deals with artifacts from the temple ruins. Ignatius the Wise you will find in the Holy Hall. Master Abrax, our alchemist, goes where he wishes.
And all of them will train me.
This is a place of learning. All the masters revere knowledge.
Indeed. So actually, it may be possible that we completed his quest. Yeah, so... No, it's still here. So... doing Vitus's quest does require us to complete everything. I'm a little confused by it, because honestly, I don't remember doing this specific part of it, the trust portion, to completion before. But it's possible that Vitus counts for 2 votes here. I think the joining the monastery and becoming a mage or a fighter requires the same kind of voting system that you deal with in Gothic 1 and 2, where you don't have to complete all the quests, you just have to complete enough of them to get a certain, like, voting point requirement. Anyway, the trust portion inexplicably continues here.
Hey, you've been sent to relieve me. About time. I'm dog-tired.
You want me to muck out dung?
I thought you were here to relieve me. Come on. I wouldn't ask you to do it for nothing.
What are you offering?
I'll give you a bottle of something special. A bottle of Fire Flush.
What's Fire Flush?
It's a mage wine. One you have to be careful of.
Strong, is it?
Blow your socks off and curl your toes at the same time. And very difficult to get hold of.
What would I want with special wine?
Keep it for a special occasion. I mean, if you were to give this to a special someone, they'd feel great. Couple of sips, they wouldn't know what they were saying. It's a mage wine to save for special occasions, is Fire Flush. I mean, I can get you wine as well, but this is your wine plus, your wine extra, your wink and your nod.
Man, you're really pushing this hard.
Do you look after the wine cellar?
I have the noble title of Mage's Cellar Master. I received the wine cellar key from Master Ignatius himself.
So what do the mages think about you trading their wine?
They don't mind. They have other things to worry about. The future looks rather grim as I see it. So why not crack open a bottle or 2? So, if you ever need it, I can slip you a couple of bottles.
Thanks. I'll remember that.
Yes, and if you need special abilities, shall we say, I'm your man.
What special abilities?
Ones that not every warrior of the Order has.
Such as?
I'm talking about dexterity, sleight of hand, relieving pockets of their burden.
Oh, right, I see. Why are you digging a dung heap? Did you upset someone?
No, it just needs to be done. So they send someone of my talents to shovel shit for days. It's about time somebody else took care of this crap.
Literally.
I'll see if I can find someone to relieve you.
You won't leave me up shit creek, as it were. All right. I'll give you the bottle I promised, on trust. I trust you, right? You have an honest face. Mine, so do most of the thieves I know. New. It's their dishonest hands you have to worry about. Get hold of a novice to take my place. They're usually made to sweep up anyway. Oh, I mean the other novices, of course, not you.
Indeed.
Give me the key to the cellar.
This is no mere cellar key. It's the key to utter bliss.
Then give me the key to bliss.
You might as well ask me to tear out my heart and hand it to you.
Look, I only want to borrow it.
No, absolutely out of the question.
What can you teach me?
So we can teach you dexterity and picking pockets. We already have 2 picking pockets, don't we? Nope, just 1. So I guess that's the extent of what he can teach you.
I have a question about picking pockets.
All right. Remember, the most important thing is to distract your target. It's the only way you can successfully steal from them.
Oh, we figured that out, haven't we? I like how he says, we have a trustworthy face, and he trusts us to not have dishonest hands. But...
Yes.
Well, alas, his trust was misplaced. Now, I don't know how the game handles the fact that it gave you the wine in advance. If it's possible that this is one of those cases where if you don't do what you agreed to do quick enough, he gets angry at you. But, weirdly, And as you can probably tell from his dialogue, this is the trust portion of Vitus's task.
Dolman said he trusts me. Is that the trust you meant?
Yes, and you should not disappoint him. Only if you earn Dolman's trust will you have completed this part of my test.
It's very strange. It's almost like Vitus knows what we're up to here.
What do you know about Hemlar?
Hemlar? Grumpy git. Always sneaking about.
You didn't like him?
Most of us who bought from Hemlar didn't like him. Just what he sold. Dealing with Hemlar was just a necessary evil.
What did he sell?
Brugelweed. Smokes. Inflated prices, though. He knew it was hard to get in here.
You seem annoyed.
Well, he went and got himself murdered, didn't he? So now, no Hemlar, and no Brugel either.
Hey, Taylor. It's time for you to take care of the dung heap.
And what are you offering?
Offering?
Well, I have no problem with getting dirty, but everything has a price.
What's your price for dealing with the dung heap?
Harlock stew. It's about the only decent thing to eat in here, and he only makes it once in a blue moon.
And you want my share?
Well, we're already giving it away, I'm afraid.
For a task you're supposed to do anyway.
Okay, fine. Then just bring me 10 apples instead. Fruit keeps you regular. You don't want to be corked up in a place like this.
There are many places I'd rather not be corked up. I don't feel like this is a particularly bad one, but... it's funny that we argue it's something he's supposed to be doing anyway, when I don't think we have any reason to suggest that it is. Because I'm pretty sure the mages assigned Dolman to do it himself.
Here are the apples you wanted.
Thanks. I'll get down the dung heap right away.
Off he goes. So those 10 apples, you can acquire those by looting all the apples you see around here. I don't know if you can find all 10 of them, but you can find enough, assuming you haven't eaten them all yourself. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, which I really ought to, is that there are certain food items, much like Gothic 2, where you eat enough of them and you start getting bonuses. And I'm pretty sure apples are one of them. I think you get the same kind of strength bonus
What do you want here?
periodically that you get in Gothic 2. The other one, I believe, is eggs. You eat enough eggs, I think you also get a strength bonus. I don't remember what else applies.
How are you doing? Any word on a replacement excrement relocation, officer?
No, you've already left, so apparently you knew.
If that's what you mean.
I know, I've seen them. Thank you. I'd better go and check on the wine. Harlock has some top quality wine. I'd better taste it. Make sure it's not gone off.
Why not try a few? Make doubly sure.
I really wish or hope you washed your hands on your way over here. Teddy, you're blocking my view. Now we can take a look at the wine cellar, seeing as we nicked the key. Teddy, come on. Away with you. Move, Otis. Why are all the animals crowding me? Go away. The wine cellar is right here. And sadly, there isn't really much down here besides wine. Who'd have guessed? There are a few bottles you can nick, and that's about it. I don't think there are any, like, hidden rooms or anything down here. None that I remember or found. Oh, there is a bottle of rum, though. Right, well, we have earned Dolman's trust now, rather than just inexplicably being given it.
I have proved myself to Dolman. I have earned his trust.
In times of battle, it is important to know whom one can trust, and I fear battle is what awaits us.
Does this mean you will train me?
You have proven yourself worthy of instruction.
What can you teach me?
He will teach you more staff combat, as well as mana. Nobody else will actually teach you that besides William. But for some reason, he teaches you dexterity as well. Very confusing. I don't know why they have so many trainers mixing and matching disciplines here. Sorry, the animals are causing ruckus. Eric, despite being the master combat instructor, doesn't actually teach you anything. Anywho, we will talk to one more man on this episode. I think the next episode is going to be longer because we have a lot more to go through, but kind of want to split it at a natural stopping point.
I am Master Ignatius, and you have completed your basic training, but there are still challenges ahead of you.
Does that mean you want to set me a test?
It means I wish to show you something.
Indeed, and we will very slowly walk there.
What plans do you have for me?
This is the library. These books contain much wisdom. Once you have read these books and learned the ritual that opens the door to the convocation, then we will talk again.
Here to find out about the main gate. I need to know when it will be opened. I heard you're in charge of it.
Plain speech is useful, but some may consider it rude. No matter. Master Palace will open the gate for you.
And there you have it. All you have to do is talk to Ignatius, and you will be allowed to leave again. So, you have to read all the books in order to pass his test. Now, the books here are not all the books, in spite of this being the library. It turns out there's a secret place with a lot more books, but we need to read all of them. But we will explore that next episode.
Hey.
Novice.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking for a book.
Any book in particular?
It's called Wisdom in Combat.
Oh ho.
The monastery's supposed to have a copy.
You like reading?
Yes, I read a lot. And write a lot.
You write books?
Books, no. Scrolls. I make sure the Order always has enough healing scrolls. I spend most of my time doing that, actually. In the writing chamber. Oh, and I also train and practice with the crossbow.
The crossbow?
So rumbly.
We don't use them in warfare. But the truth is, I'm damn good at it. And I enjoy it.
Are you good enough to train me?
You don't hold back, do you? But yes, I can train you.
So it is weird, they do give you the other combat options to train with while you're in the monastery. It's actually another character who will teach you bows as well.
Here, a copy of Wisdom in Combat.
Hey, you got it.
It was in the cemetery.
What was it doing there?
They're collecting lots of artifacts and ancient knowledge there.
Even in times of turmoil, the Inquisition should respect books. A lot can be solved with books, but that's not your fault. I owe you a favor.
What can you teach me? Would you mind if I looked at that book?
By all means. I need to rest my eyes in any case.
Thank you, sir.
There's something here about magic. This text is about magic spells.
Magic spells, you say? Oh, you shouldn't be lighting up in a library.
Yeah. About scrolls and ingredients. Preparing a telekinesis scroll requires wing dust.
Interesting. Alright, we're going to talk with one more fellow while we're here, just because he's in the neighborhood.
Did you know Hemlar?
Not really. He was a friend of Harlock's. If Harlock has friends, that is.
Why shouldn't Harlock have friends?
He's a pirate. I heard he was once cook on the Eleanor. Cook, dishwasher, and on-board psychopath. He's utterly evil. A killer who doesn't care.
But he got on with Hemlar.
Even killers don't kill everyone. Suppose even they need friends.
What's the Eleanor?
The Eleanor's a ship. She belongs to the worst pirate on the 9 oceans. Captain Gregorius Emmanuel Steelbeard.
Steelbeard? Can you tell me about him? Anything other than his name?
Yes. Stay out of his way. They say he was seen in Harbour Town not long ago. Who knows what he was doing?
Right. How are you doing with your studies?
Some days I don't think I'm going to complete my studies. Not even if I manage to live to 100.
Well, just keep cracking on, I guess. So I guess we'll wrap it up here. We got another lead pointing us towards Harlock in the Moida investigation. Other than that, we've still got a few more masters to speak with and get tests from. And that will take up pretty much the entirety of the next episode. So, for now, hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.